Hello there. Hi. It looks like things are working. Hello, hello. It looks like things function. Chat looks so fancy now. I've got the green screen behind me. I cheated and made the most obnoxious green screen you could ever imagine in the world. It is whew. Hell yeah. We're super fancy now. But the green screen here is on a bed. So there was a spare bed, like a duo, like a two person bed in one of the other rooms. So I kind of just took it, dragged into this room, flipped it upwards, and put my green screen sheet over top of the back of it. So that's what that is now. So special thanks to RNGD Gaming. You can go and follow them for the side chat update. So that looks nice. I'm still working on it. There are some now functional, like you can say you're lurking, and I am still working on getting some stuff. There also should be more channel point usages that you guys now have access to. So hopefully that works for you guys. Green sheets of paper, like Bristol board. Actually, you know what? For like a cheap option, that's not a bad idea, to be honest. Like just to get like a board and get some stapler, two-sided tape. Oh yeah, castle size. It's all the way. It's all the way up there. Hey, we got the press X to pet for Puck. Nice. So there should be some new emotes as well for you guys. Hopefully that I don't know which ones would have been approved and which ones haven't been yet. I don't see Schmeppo yet, sadly. Sadly, no Schmeppo. But we'll get there. We'll get to Schmeppo. I believe. I believe in Schmeppo. You should now also, if you're not a follower, if you should also still be able to you should now be able to unlock emotes. Like I said, there should be some more channel point options. Hey, and there's a boop for Puck. Again, please keep in mind that the boops for Puck may or may not actually be available right away. I also haven't set up special messages, so I don't know how to make that go through yet. But I'll try to, you know what, I'm gonna make a note. I have like little sticky notes. So I'm gonna need to add in what would that be called? Special messages for point redemption. We'll call it emotes / actions, I guess. Okay. I made a sticky note. Well, now I can literally put pins in things. Yeah, there's a lot in that program you sent to me, so I'm gonna have to spend some time. Like I spent time yesterday going through it and getting it like the basics set up. Now that the bare bones basics are there, I can start like playing with it and seeing what I can get it to do and whatnot. So we'll get there. We'll get there. I'm pretty happy with the way it works so far. It is a bit tedious for me, only because I don't know it. I think once I know it a little bit better, it'll get a lot faster, because then I'll know exactly what I want it to do and how I want to do it. I do like that our background, though, has now become a literal pin board. So anytime I'm like, oh, we gotta remember that, we gotta talk about this, let's put a pin in that, I can literally actually just put a pin on the board behind me. So that's fun. Sorry, I need to blow my nose. There's something bothering me. I apologize. There we go. There was another announcement. Oh, there'll be another stream tomorrow, but it will be our normal stream that we do on Tuesdays. That'll be tomorrow instead of today. Because I wasn't feeling that great today. I'm kind of tired. I want to play games. Staying up past my bedtime. What's a bedtime? I don't even know. I don't even know anymore. My neck hurts a little bit. I'm trying to think if there's any other announcements that I have about the stream. Oh, what up, Mr. Serious? Oh, I don't have the emoji wall ready yet. That's not quite up. We'll get there, though. We'll get there, though. Sorry. One step at a time, my guy. Give me a break. Does my audio still sound okay when I'm turned this way? Because I'm like, usually I'm pointed this way. If I'm turned this way, does the audio still come through okay? Everything sounds okay? I'm wondering if putting this up is making the audio even better because it's got, like, stopping any kind of, like, reverb. So now I've got, like, crap on the walls, I got this thing here, I got a curtain, I got a bed right beside me, I've got carpet. I imagine this sounds way less hollow than, like, if you go and look at one of my, like, older streams. Oh. Fuck. That's right. Generic seems to have gotten in on it. Surprise, surprise. The Vic Mignogna fans are having a absolute baby fit fiesta in the comments section of the Vic Mignogna video. Shocking, I know. It must be such a surprise for you. So if you want to go have fun, you can go to the YouTube channel and, yeah, I know, I'm a lamer. Super lamer. Neck hurts, man. I don't know. I started doing more stretches. I added a 15-minute stretch to my regular routine that I'm trying to create because I suck at routines. Need my little ears up. There we go. I kind of want to put Bulbasaur behind me, I'm not gonna lie. What year is it? Man, I don't even... Lamer. McFly. Oh my goodness. I messed up my sleeve. Oh, there we go. There we go. I fixed it. Alright. You guys hear it? Yeah, that audio looks good. Fantastic. It looks like things are working. I just wanted to make sure things were actually running before I started. Very cool. We are past the time of the McFly, though. Generic Minority also has his art up now, so... So that's nice if you guys wanted to see that. Hey! So, we were just talking about you. All good things, all good things. Promise. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, I think Generic actually, as a mod, will have access to all of the commands. So that'll be, you can put the Discord link, you can put a YouTube, you can do Twitter, and you can shout out other streamers. Then there's lurking and hugging, and so people can do that. It'll just show up that I'm the one who says it, so like my account says it, because I haven't gotten the bot figured out yet. So we gotta get the bot set up, but the bot needs his own account. Your drawing's great, Athens. You should keep it. You should be proud of it. It's fantastic. 10 out of 10. Yeah, there you go. Try the shout out for Renegade. The command should be exclamation mark SO. Is that a period? I don't know if that's a period or not. So it should be this. That's the command. And then so then it's looking for the username, because I didn't put the username in. I just wanted to show you guys the command. So and then I should be able to put in, where are you? At, oh, there you are. Whoops, I typed it wrong. I spelled shout out wrong because I'm an idiot. What? We suck at this. It is not working. Everybody's typing everything wrong. Let me double check it. Oh. Oh, okay, hold on. Alright. Now moderators can do it. Alright, so Generic couldn't do it before. Now he can. You're not a moderator, Mr. Serious. You're not allowed. Correct. I don't think that's the order. I think it goes... Oh my god, why is this so ridiculous? There it goes. Oh no, it didn't work. It almost worked. Target user streams to... Okay, so we're putting his name in the wrong spot. So where does the question becomes, where does his name go? Let's try here. Everyone should be able to lurk. Hey, okay, that's the order. Okay, it goes... Alright, we figured it out. I believed in us the whole time. Jesus Christ. Okay, so it's exclamation mark, S-O... What did I do? Exclamation mark, S-O, name, space, period, space, exclamation mark, shout out. That's how it works. We did it. We did it, boys. It only took us 20 minutes. We figured it out. Okay, so yeah, there's Discord, there's Followage, there's Hug, there's Lurk, there's the Shadow, there's Twitter, there's Uptime, and there's YouTube. Those are your options. They are posted in the Discord for anybody who wants to see. I have adjusted the text on some of them, but not all of them yet. So if the text looks generic, it's because I haven't done anything to it yet. So you know what? Let's get into this. Let's go. And I got my regular chair this time because I didn't want to sit on the tiny little chair this time. I wanted to sit on my good chair. So I hope you guys are ready to go. Yeah, the most generic text you've ever seen. Yes. Alright, we might have to make some minor adjustments on the fly here while we're still getting everything set up. Let me just move you guys. So this is where we left off last time. So I'm just gonna move the text a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better. I didn't want you guys like cutting off the junk and things. I need to actually pop out chat because I can't see you guys worth of shit. Oh, God, this is my life, and I'm bad at it. Shout out if you're bad at life. At least I got closed captioning on, alright? I turned closed captioning on to try and make life easier for people. I don't know if it's good for you guys or if it's like on, like if it shows for you guys on the outside, but hey, you know, I'm doing my best, okay? Alright, I can see you guys a little bit better now. There we go. Okay, can you guys see everything okay? Looks good? Sounds good? I got notifications on the side. Can I move you guys up just a little bit because the map... Yeah, there we go. I just want to make sure you guys can see the map too. There you go. That's better. Alright. Are we ready for our adventure to begin? Now that we only did like half of what we could have done in this space. Hey, alright. Oh, hey, Alicia, good to see you. Alright, so there's only one secret that I've learned between point A and point... There's only one secret that I've learned between point A and point B. That bell, man. I can go through the top, can't I? Haha, I got it. I'm figuring it out. I got it. I might need to turn this down a little bit. It's a little loud. Roll credits. Ooh. This ascension thing is busted. I love it. I love transcending the Matrix. Ooh. What a good place to start. Look at this one floating thing. Okay, let's put that off to the side for now. Give me there. Hey, Manu, good to see you. Welcome. I hope you like the setup. The time power. Oh! I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't Zelda. Did I just send her that to, like, the past? Are we have we re-become the hero of time? Hey, the dragon! Guy that looks like Frosh. Or Farosh. Bruh.
You must find me.
Where are you? Marco! No? Is this game just telling me to jump? Okay, well I'm gonna take off that you know what? No, I'm gonna leave that pin. Okay, so we got all kinds of... What the actual hell is this? Do you think we can ascend this entire thing? Alright, I don't know if you guys noticed, but the sounds that the Master Sword is making sound vaguely similar... to, Is this just back? Yeah, okay. Sound really similar to Fee. They sound very similar to Fee. Also, I'm sorry to hear that about your computer, Manya. Do you know when you're getting it back? Do I just jump? Is there water? There looks like there's some water right there. Climb down? It's not giving me the jumped prompt. Oh, hey, Zonai. Yo, that guy's... Look at him! Every day he's shuffling. Is he in a wheelchair? That's baller. The gods of Olympus have abandoned me. There is no hope. Woo! Let's go! Hopefully it's deep enough. At what rate does Link hit terminal velocity? How fucking far did I just fall? Jesus Christ. Alright, this is fine. That definitely wouldn't have broken my arms. I definitely would not just be a fine pink paste. Hey, we back, baby. Whoa, the first thing we found was money. Give me my money. What? Oh. Okay. We gotta go find the Great Fairies again. I need a haircut. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I like Link's haircut in this. I mean, I guess that there's a lot of different ways to do things now. I should be stealthy enough to just sneak up on a Bokoblin without really trying. This is the first Bokoblin I've seen in this game. Let's name him Steve. Steve looks like he's having a lovely nap right now. Look at him. Look at him. Look at little Steve here. He's so cute. Look at him. Oh, good night, Steve. He had a horn and a bunch of apples. He had a little backpack. Oh, what a bro. Oh, there's like little building stations. Fascinating. Okay. Alright, alright. How much do I remember about this map is the real question. Little to nothing. I feel like we go towards the big Doom Castle. Where else would Zelda be? That's where she fell, right? Yes. Okay. I see nonsense. that's a shrine over there. Nice. Oh, thank God. Those still exist in this game. So the Pokoblins look a little different. They got big old horns now that the Moblins kind of used to have. Look at his little butt. Their eyes look a little bit more blue. There we go. Oh, him dying woke up the other ones. Interesting. Oh, our friend has died. Must have been the wind. Don't objectify him. Alright, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made an outward bound statement about the ass of the Bokoblin. It's only 1 a.m. I got plenty of time to just make my way downtown here. I wonder if stealth killing this Bokoblin will wake up the other one. Aw, shit. Well, I'm glad they rendered from further away. Good night, sweet prince. What do we find? Wooden sticks. Okobo shield. Good shit, good shit, good shit. All good things. Arrows, thank you. Rusty shield. Good. Good, 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 good. So I did find out about a... Oh. Sundelion. Oh. I did find out about one way that there is actually a way in this game to restore your weaponry, which is real nice and greatly appreciated. Come here, you little bastards. Come to me. Come at me. Why you no come fight me? Come on. What, do I gotta jump up and down? What? Alright, well, whatever. Ooh. Nice! We making bank! That's a fairy! Oh, it's one of those bunny things that have money in them. Let's kill it! Because it's got money in it. I never hit them more than once. Thank you, you little weird rabbit owl thing. It looks like you have to pick them up now, which is fine. I don't mind that. Oh, little fox. Hey, come here. I love that. Something about that just makes me happy. Wait, did that rock? He didn't even throw that rock and it hit me. What the hell? Alright. Game's cheap. Cheating. Got it. Noted. Yeah, I'm a savage like that. Oh, this looks suspicious. Oh, this looks suspicious. These little bastards. I can't be that mad at them because the expanded inventory is so goddamn good. Alright, there's that shrine. We'll head right over there. Oh, there's a Bokoblin hideout over there already. Pick up every rock. What is this? Oh, it's like a tower. Oh, that's the Colosseum. Huh. There's a bunch of these things around. They almost look like they are what used to be the towers where the map was expanded, but... Oh, I am totally okay with having to pick them up instead of, like, accidentally dropping rocks on them and them like, the rupees flying into the other side of the goddamn planet. What the fuck? Ew! Catch the cricket. Catch the cricket. Yeah, oh, come on, man. How many years has it been? Where's my paraglider? Dazzle fruit. A fruit charged with a powerful light. Break it to unleash dazzling sparkle. They gave me a flashbang? They gave me a flashbang that I can put on arrows? Oh my god! Look at that. That's a boss fight. That's a boss fight waiting to happen right there. I know a boss fight when I see one, god damn it. Yeah, I never can catch the crickets. Oh. There's a camp here. Okay, well let's do the shrine first. Grave robbers took my... I wasn't dead, I just left it behind. Just like how they took my house. Aw, oh, man, I'm gonna have to get my house again. I mean, I'm not terribly against that, but also... Do I own, like, a land deed or something this time? Shape rotation. Oh, do I have to put the square in the square hole? Ooh. Is there anything else in here? Oh. I like the new, music for this area, these areas. One of my roommates was testing this game out. Cause he had just, okay, sure, let's just jump on an angle, Link. Good, yeah, whatever. It's okay, I just suck. There we go. And he's an engineer, and, he was... Probably took him about 15 minutes to make the bridge. I like this as a first puzzle because it really teaches you the how to think. It's odd that they have this and it operates on a two. Oh, I gotta go through both. Okay. It's odd that it's on a 2 axes instead of 3 axes. We're so used to everything being in 3 axes that it's... It's fun that it makes you think a little harder. Oops. Can I not get up? What? Oh. I didn't realize I was such a bitch! Oh, come on. Ah! There. Give me my treasure! Ooh. Nice. I like that! Before, all that was basically in these things was, weapons. Now it's... Is that the angle? Okay, this is kind of hard for me to see. There we go. I don't have the angle quite right. Oh, get out of here. You gotta have it on, like, the... Oh, weird. There we go. Nope. Nope. Oh, there we go. Now... Nope. This way. Nope. There we go. I knew it! Yeah, it forces you to practice doing things on, like, 2 axes instead of 3. If it was 3 axes, it would be really easy, but because it's on 2 axes instead... Stop that. Because it's on 2 axes instead, it makes it a lot more difficult. Oh, right, you're a jackass. I forgot. Oh, there's a hole. There we go. I appreciate your belief in me. Oh, why do I forget that I can't jump that high? I keep forgetting that I can't jump that high, and that I have to angle it completely the other way. There we go. Oh, come on. Stop. Stop, please. Have mercy on me. There we go. No! It's gonna be one of those days. Come on! Get it! Bruh. Alright. There we go. Yeah, thanks. Alright, so yeah, make sure that we don't have Shmeppo yet, but we do have a couple new emotes. Hell yeah, classic, wow. Oh yeah, we stretching. I've learned some new stretches now, so this is actually super helpful. Do a little behind the back. Ugh. Now, please keep in mind that the puck boops will not always be available. When he is here, I will try my best to do them while he is here, so you can witness said boops. But if he is not here, I'll be sure to make sure that he gets booped in the future. You can also now unlock emotes if you are not a follower or a subscriber. Yes, there are now things you can use your points for. I'll be adding more as we go, but those are the based ones that I thought would be best for now. If you guys think of anything, please feel free to leave suggestions in the Discord. By the way, you've been all titled the Goblin Goober Squad. I hope you're satisfied with that. That is how what you're called. Ew, what the hell? Well, I mean, I can't imagine why you're not feeling well. Nah. Hi, Traveler. I guess he's feeling sick, right? Ugh, hi, Traveler. I'd stay away from this stuff if you care about your health. Folks are calling it gloom. Alright, I'm gonna stop that. If you get any on you, you'll start losing your strength, like sapping your life away. I touched some gloom while poking around in the depths, and now look at me. The worst of it will recover on its own little by little, so long as you're on the surface. But while you're in the depths, you won't recover at all. I thought I was going to die down there. Some investigation leader I turned out to be. This is just pitiful. I'm completely reliant on Davil, so I really want to recover by nighttime. I don't know what any of those things mean. Alright, good luck! Nice hot air balloon! Push him! Ah, damn. Hey buddy, what's the big idea? You can't just walk up behind somebody who's standing on the edge of a chasm? I did do that. That is fair. For one thing, a nasty accident like that could surely halt the research here. Yep. Chasm investigation is super important right now for the Zonai survey team. Okay. If one researcher had to stop... Josha? Hosha? Yasha? There's like 100 different ways to pronounce that. Who's hard at work on plans over at Lookout Landing? I would cry. Not okay. Oh, that guy was really mad. You know the giant holes that show up after the upheaval? Nope. I think I know what he's talking about, that we saw at the beginning. There's a lot of them, just like this one all over the world. You can see the bottom there, so deep, so filled with mystery. Oh. See that tower over there? That's where you'll find our base of operations, and incidentally, that guy. Oh, also, don't startle me again! I'm deep in my investigation work at the moment. Can I jump down? Oh! Oh, shit! Yes, I can. Oh, we gonna go get horses. Nobody saw that. Where am I going? Oh, there's a hole in the ground on my map now. Okay. To the depths. I mean, oh, there's another shrine over there. Well, let's just go find this guy. I'm kind of curious because there's some bees. Well, it doesn't look like any of the robots made their way down. Whoa! They got a whole ass fort! This shit! I mean, I guess I feel like I could have probably made something and then just say something. Hyrule restoration materials. Use these materials cash for all your building needs. Come and find us if you'd like a dream home. Hudson Construction? Hudson's Construction is still around. Hell yeah, that's my house. Could it be? Huh? I don't know you. Where have you been?
Aww.
Burwar? Last anyone saw either of you or Princess Zelda was when you went to investigate the gloom, and then the castle rose into the sky and everyone's been so worried about what's happened to you both. Oh, okay, so I guess it hasn't been 100 years this time. Purah has nearly worn herself out trying to figure out where you two went. Holy shit. Oh my god, do I get to do city building like you do in, like, Fallout and shit? Because that's gonna be solid. Don't tell me they sold my house. Please report to her right away. She'll want to know you're alright. I guess. Oh, I recognize this guy! This is the painter guy. Sure, it must be a bit of a storm. Whoa, but you probably need something, didn't you? It's your first time. Go talk to a soldier in the center of the little fort. I'm just gonna go talk to Purah, I guess. Where is she? I don't believe it. Okay, hi.
No.
Scorpus. This guy's got a badass name and a badass haircut. Look at this. Whoop. Save. You don't need to save this game. Where's Princess Zelda? You didn't bring her with you? Oh, whatever happened, please go talk to Purah first and foremost. She's up in her research lab. That's on the north side of our fort. Hurry up to the second floor. Okay, well, I will save, as I have been informed to do. There you go. On the second floor, Oh, this guy! Robbie! Ah, what a fine afternoon! Hey, you! Where have you been? Head of Purapad Development. Don't answer that! Tell me later! For now, you should go and hurry up and find Purah! She's been in a tizzy ever since you and Princess Zelda disappeared. She's still building a telescope on the second floor. Go see her and give her some peace of mind, will ya? Everybody is very worried about this lady who is very worried about me. Nobody's even asked me how I am. Like, are you okay? What happened?
What?
That hair, those eyes. The doc? Dr. Purah! The swordsman has returned. Hey, where's my girlfriend who was hanging out with Impa? I liked her. Save being one of the options is the best.
Okay. Now where have you been?
Yuffie?
Linky, you're not a ghost, are you? Hey. That looks interesting. Phew. One step at a time. What exactly happened?
Did she get older between the games? Or did she end the get an end scene credits where she got older? I'm just trying to figure out how long it's been.
Princess Zelda go beneath Hyrule Castle. You discover a mysterious mummy.
Yeah, yep.
Which suddenly reanimates.
Yep.
Then
We found Matt
Zelda
Mercer.
falls into a fissure and vanishes.
Uh-huh. About right.
That must have been when the castle rose and the ruins fell.
I mean, we did see Ganon doing that. Yeah.
Then, later, you wake up on a sky island, saved by the arm that was stuck to the mummy. You get the Purapad from an unusual creature.
A construct.
And learn that your new arm belonged to someone named Rauru. The Master Sword disappears.
Oh, what was left with of it,
You
I guess.
hear the princess's voice and find your way here.
I'm wondering if it's been like 30 years.
Huh?
Then, I'm gonna try and imitate her voice. And find your way here. Then...
What?
Are you saying you came from up there? This Rauru you met, I think that's what the first king of Hyrule was named. Are they one and the same? So much of this doesn't make sense. Yet. But I am certain that mummy you found under the castle must be related to the upheaval. The castle rising up, the ruins falling down from the sky. The mummy must be connected to it somehow. And then there's the most important detail of all. You're sure that you heard the princess speak to you? And listen, this has happened to me a lot. You don't need to question me on this. And she gave you a clear message to find her? If that truly was the princess, then that means she's alive. Maybe she's trapped beneath the castle and needs help. That settles it. I know you only just returned, Link, but I need you to meet with the search party up by Hyrule Castle. They've been searching tirelessly for you two. The captain in charge of the search is named Hawes. Work with him to find the princess as quickly as you can.
Yes.
Yes, I know that mummy may still be lurking somewhere around there, which is concerning to say the least, but we have more immediate problems to deal with right now. I'm counting on you, Linky. Why is that girl just staring at me like that? It's making me uncomfortable. Oh, this is cool. Oh, I like character profiles. Hell yeah. Pura, head of Lookout Landing. The highest authority on ancient technology, she has served Princess Zelda's family for much of her life and has worked with the princess to search the Zonai civilization. Most recently, they started an investigation into the outbreak of gloom. She has used herself as a test subject in her experiments. Despite being over a century in age, she reversed her aging to the extreme and actually looked like a child not too long ago. Cool. Gibdos? Man, if we get some Gibdos, I'm gonna be super happy about it. I'd be hyped to see some Gibdos. Alright, we're gonna stick on the plot line here. Is there like an easier... Can I just leave? Do I have to go out the long... No, I just... Hey guys, I think I found a hole in your security ball here. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, it's fine. It ain't that deep. It's fine. Oh, there was a gate. You know what? It's fine. Who are you? What is that? Gagam. This man with a Pokemon name. It's hard to believe these ruins just fell from the sky. I mean, they're from an age of legend, and now they're here. It's all so strange, huh? Yeah, it sure is. But it's also a great opportunity. All of us on the Zonai survey team should count ourselves lucky. If it weren't for the upheaval, this never would have happened. Not that anyone knows that... Oh, take a drink. I'm sopping wet. Remember, once one of our rules, take a drink every time I'm sitting having a conversation with Link just dripping buckets. You see off the elbow there, right by the every time. Not that anyone knows what the upheaval even is. Well, Purra is investigating the upheaval. She's certain it'll provide clues about Princess Zelda's whereabouts. But progress isn't great, I've heard. Is the princess alright wherever she is? These ruins right here are exceptional, but really, who cares at a time like this? Oh, that's nice of them. She's fine. Probably. Take a drink, I'm sopping wet. Yo, our buddies! Hell yeah, sup, bro? Do you think they just talk to anybody? This is a crystal refinery. You can take your crystals and get them to produce energy wells. I do not have enough for this. You need like 100. I do not have 100. Alright, off we go. Hey, listen. These are the jokes, people. This is what you come here for, and you know it. Alright, I'm just gonna run an ad break so that way it doesn't, we don't screw ourselves. So anybody getting an ad break, don't worry, you're not missing anything. I just want to switch to chatting for a second and let you guys know. Yeah, we've been adding drinking rules to our playthrough. Our first rule is every time I enter a conversation and Link is just sopping wet, take a drink. So that's our one of our rules so far. Let me know if you guys come up with any other rules. If I die, you can probably finish your drink. I only did that twice in the first episode. Come on. Sorry, I just want to run out the ad to make sure that, like, stuff goes through and people don't miss anything important. Hey, hell yeah, follow on Twitter. There will be, remixes or edited versions of these playthroughs on YouTube as well, so if you're interested in catching up or seeing what we did, I'm going to put the opening in full as is. But for these ones, I'll see if I end up editing them or not. It depends on how long we end up streaming for. If we stream for too long, it basically starts becoming impossible to actually edit. What the fuck? Sorry, a rock just on the screen. Once they get too long, they start getting impossible to edit. So we'll see, but whatever. Okay. Let's get back to it. Ooh, a mop. My favorite. I can put anything on this mop. Hello. Oh, another shrine. Oh, they're giving me a hell of a lot of easy shrines. What is... Oh, okay. It's just the rain that's making it flicker. I dedicated this monument in the memory of the souls lost to the calamity, Zelda. Can I take the flower? Yes. Desecrate it! What's going on with this guy? Here for you, even wet. I mean... Ah! Oh my god. Addison. President Hudson, are you okay? Wow. This is amazing. 10 out of 10. Oh no, what have I done? Alright, I'm sorry, President Hudson. I won't let you fall over again. That was unforgivable. It's your fault for startling me like that. Yes, I know it's just a sign, but I have great respect for President Hudson, so I pin the blame on you. Unforgivable! You haven't heard about Mr. Hudson? He's the president of our construction company. He's the one appointed by the princess herself. She placed him in charge of putting those material caches everywhere, and now he's shouldering Hyrule's restoration. Of course, he is also the founder of Hudson Construction, and besides all that... What is all this? I'm in the middle of President Hudson epic tale of heroism. Well, fine. What was I doing here before? I don't want the others getting jealous, so I haven't spread this around, but President Hudson gave me an extra special mission. And that is to put these signs all over the place and let everyone know that Hudson Construction is big deal. I've heard they're kind of a big deal. These aren't your ordinary signs, as you can clearly see. These portray Mr. Hudson himself in detail, noble, glorious detail. It's unforgivable for even one of these to fall over, even in rainy weather. And so, I have pledged to support him. Don't worry, Mr. Hudson, I'm here for you. But I can't stand here forever. I've got so many more signs to spread around. I don't know what to do. What? Are you going to support him? All right, I'll let it go. Unforgivable! This guy's having a hot minute. I guess we can help this man. Is there just a box somewhere? Anybody see just a box? No. Oh, we got one. We got a stick. Nope, not good enough. I have to do a little bit more than that. God. I was gonna try and do this with as few things as possible. We can inch this a little closer, yeah? I gotta stop doing that. I keep doing that with my right hand. Sticky hands. Yeah. We got it. He's standing! Yeah, you're welcome. I think this is, oh, 20 bucks. That was probably worth $20 doing that in the rain. Oh, and it got rice balls. Can I have some rice balls in real life? Sleepover ticket? Oh, that's cool. All right, I like that. Lodging voucher for a regular stable bed. A reward for collecting pony points. Spend it at the stable to get some rest and recover from fatigue for travel. That's cool. I wonder if there's going to be way less money options in this game. And with that, I'm off. Okay, goodbye. Good luck. Wow, you kind of did a show. Why wouldn't you... Okay. I'm just going to put this back. Okay. I'm pretty sure I was doing something important. I'm making ribs tonight. Oh. That's okay, I don't want the claymore. I'm taking that spear, though. I'm straight stealing that shit. What do you want?
Huh?
Whoa, you scared me! What are you doing here at such an hour? Hyrule Chasm is nearby is dangerous, you know. For all I know, this shrine could be dangerous, too. I'd say that most things are dangerous these days with the upheaval. Watch your back. Okay, bye. I gotta stop talking to everybody. Because that's President Hudson. He's in charge of building things. Or supplying things for the building. Is chat legible for you guys? Can you guys read that alright? Yeah, we're gonna skip this. If Raru's not talking to me, I do like that we found out last time on Dragon Ball Z. Oh, it's combat training. I am happy that the thing we found out about last time was that the first princess of Hyrule was a furry. Oh, it's one of you! Shrine purifies ancient evil, yeah. Oh, I can't skip this because... Use a side hop to avoid attacks to create an opening. Oh, yeah. It's still teaching me the game. That is one thing that'll... Oh. That is one thing that I'll say about this game, is it's done a really good job of... It's done a really good job of, I don't feel like I really need to play the first game. I don't think it should have given me that. I always forget about the shield parry. What's the button for this again? It literally just told me what the button was. Ouch. What button did it just tell me to do? I'm just stupid. There we go. Oh, A to parry. Okay, cool. I love that, by the way. Thanks for the stuff. I broke 2 things. Hey, Solar, congratulations. Honest Red gifted a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. I don't have those set up in the bot yet, so those are eventually going to have an animation that'll go with them, but not yet. Well, give me this. I have a small brain. Nice. Okay, there we go. I'm going the wrong direction. Give me my thing. me more things. Ooh. Resonates with attached Zonai devices to slightly increase its attack power. Interesting. Hell yeah, we duoing! We duoing Zelda right now. I like it! I like it. Yes, thank you. We got 2! Oh yeah, we're all just playing together. I like it. Play along with me. Absolutely play along with me. And show me how you beat puzzles, for sure. Why does this person look so excited? Whoa, was that open before? How could I have missed it? Do you think that person can just go in now? Huh? What is it? We're so close to the chasm and stage. Oh. Okay, bye. Alright, back to business. Link, is that really you? When did you get out of from the castle? I'm so ashamed. I've been on watch duty this whole time. I didn't see you at all. Yeah, well, you suck at your job. I've really got to get serious about my training. Captain Hawes, who's doesn't know that you're back. Does he, Link? You should report to him straight away. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm sure the captain will be just as surprised to see you as I was. Yeah. Making my way downtown. Faces past, moving fast. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. Cool. And do I have to go around? Can I go through here? Wait, where's that pointing me? Where did that guy say he was? Final load of laundry? Congratulations on getting done your laundry. God, this place is just covered in garbage. Everything here sucks. I guess I could, you know, build a bridge. Sorry, I like exploring. And picking up rocks. Found a chest. Gimme. Don't drop on my head. It's not a mimic. I got $1. Somebody's yelling at me. There we go. I knew there'd be a way across. Lizards! Stream looks kind of strong. I'm gonna go on an angle here. teleport, so hopefully I can make this and I'm not boned. Hey, I did it. We're not boned. Hey, I think I found the place where we got borked. Oh, no. Ooh. I got a bonky hammer. Well, I'm gonna break all your shit. I always need more arrows. Thank you. Ah! Holy shit, he scared the fuck out of me. Can I pick him up? No, I can't. Get out of here, you fucking asshole. I was not ready for that. Yeah, I do the same thing. Buy the arrows every time. Whoa! 14? I just found it. Are you kidding me? Damn. I could probably attach a fan to this. Fuck you. Oh god. It's fine. We got a way to deal with this. We're going to attach this mop with a rock. Oh, we gotta go get a rock! Wait, we got bombs! We got bombs! No, hold on. We got bombs. We got bombs. This will not hurt at all. It'll be fine. Trust! It was not fine. Take a drink. I kind of hope it sets us back a little bit. It'll be fine. Nothing bad could happen, possibly. Oh, okay, good. It dropped us at a good spot. Where am I? Alright. We need a new rock hammer. Noted. Alright, let's go get us a new rock hammer. The rock that was here is gone. That is unfortunate. Fuck. Alright. We'll be back. Another 100 years. It's fine. What do you mean? Nobody could have possibly foreseen that outcome? What are you talking about? Oh, I'm going the wrong way. How the fuck? Ah. Are you evil? Another bow. What the fuck? Why is this thing giving me such powerful bows right out the gate? I mean, I'm not complaining, but damn. I guess I should have been looking ahead and should have shot my bomb beforehand. I did, but it didn't open the wall. I failed horribly. I keep losing my little ear horn thingies. Who even needs the climbing gear? I want my climbing gear back. Okay, so I'm gonna warn you guys all now. I am absolutely a clothes collector. I will get all of the outfits, and I will 100% all of the outfits. It is essentially like my favorite thing to do. Hey guys, do you think this thing seems... You think this place seems kind of evil? Seems kind of... desolate? There's not even bad guys here, what? There's one lizard that lives in this whole place. Dude's got it made. Okay, bye. Think I can go in there? It gave me the dive option. I can go in here. Whoa! Oh. Fell into some treasure. Woo! Yeah, I'll take his spear. I'm keeping my mop. Well, thanks. I feel like I'm kind of just running around the outside at this point. Ugh. I don't like the spooky. I feel like it's gonna attack me. I can make it up that. Who the hell's up there? If they can make it up there, I can make it up there. Oh my god, we are not making a keyblade. God, no. No. Hi, I'm Sora from Kingdom Hearts. Nah! We should do a Kingdom Hearts play one time. That'd be fun. No, I wouldn't. I would have a bad time. Ganon's Pokemon is just a Gloom. That's cute, and I love it, and I think somebody needs to send Matt Mercer a plush Gloom. I can make this. This is fine. I think. Yes, we're good. Oh, munch, 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 munch. He's so cute. Oh, we love you, Link. You're so adorable. See, we got this. Let's just have a snack halfway up. Hello? What? Standing on the edge and staring and is intense. Seeing a chasm in person, it's far better than hearing about it. Chasm, ah! Why would you do that? Jump up and startle someone on the edge of the void? That sounds like something that you do. This chasm is nearly bottomless, just like the other creations by the upheaval. Personally, I do not want to hit the bottom of a nearly bottomless chasm. Even though it scares me, I can't stop staring at it. Well, maybe you should consider how the hell did they get this shit up here? Maybe it was set up beforehand. I don't know. What the hell? Did I just take the hard way? Was there an easy way up and I'm just an asshole? Hello?
Ah.
We've turned up nothing that would help us find the princess, unfortunately. Huh? You're the splitting image of it, Link! I bet if Captain Hawes saw you, he'd be so startled he might even fall off the gatehouse over there. Where's the gatehouse? Is that the gatehouse? Oh! You know, that would have been smart. I have the Ultra Hand. I guess I could have just walked in the front door. Well, you know, I'm an asshole. The weapons have decayed. I wonder if there are any intact weapons left in the world. What about the weapons?
Oh.
Nice fedora! What? Who decided this? Dude, can Link get a fedora in this game? Hey, it's a new face. Actually, it's an old face. Very old face. During the upheaval, all the weapons, swords, spears, claymores, you name it, suddenly decayed. I've explored many regions in search of weapons that might still be intact. I have found none. At this point, I'd be surprised if there were any intact weapons left in Hyrule. They're also a real pain to repair, so the best thing is to do is strengthen them. Can I have these? Ooh. I want that. I guess I can finally drop my rock hammer. Soup ladle! I already have a mop. I should probably cook some more stuff, though. Okay, we want some more of these. Yay. Nice. Alright, that should be fine for now. Do we have anything that we want to merge together, though? We have... what the fuck is this thing? Like stone. A round stone made from a like made of crystalloids. Good for ingredient for elixirs. Okay, so not that. We're not going to use that. Not going to use that. We could upgrade one of these. We should probably upgrade the soldier's broadsword. With a Captain Construct Horn, I think. Okay, let's do that. Oh. There we go. Yo, we beef. We beef as fuck boy. Well, I can't grab that. I will not destroy all of this guy's stuff. I'm just gonna take the weapon he didn't want. Is this not the... Hello? Who the fuck are you?
Oh.
Me and a few others have the same idea. We will... Blah, 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 blah. The captain was way up the top of the gatehouse. Okay. So I just gotta get up. Well, I guess I'm making a bit of a bridge. Cause it's raining. Gotta do shit the hard way. I'm assuming I am absolutely 100% going the wrong way, and I am down. I'm 100% down for it. I am here to explore, my friends. Oh, I still fucked this up. Wait a minute! Hold on, I still fucked it up. Oh, up. What? Bonk, 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 bonk. Crash, bang, boom. There we go. Ah, fucking rain. I didn't make a good enough thing. Oh, poor Link looks exhausted. Is it all gonna fall apart if I shake it, or do I just get this? Okay, good. You're fine. Stop being such a baby. I have no idea what the limit is, but I think there might be a limit to the number of things you can add. Ah! Stop trying to throw the weapon, Link. For fuck's sakes. It stopped. It's gonna be done raining by the time I'm done making this thing. Ah. It's perfect. It's a ramp. You watch it. Don't mess with me, man. Yeah, you get out of here. Where are you going? Hey, the gate is... Oh, wait, no, that's not the gate. Hell yeah. We did it. There's just a wall here. This goes nowhere! It's okay, we made it. Ha! You're welcome. Ha ha! I did it. Ha ha! Sorry, but I'm in the middle of something. Who in that? Link, is that you? You're alive and all in one piece, it looks like. Well, you know, for the most part. Does that mean Princess Zelda is safe too? What a relief! You're alone? But I heard you, the princess calling out to you, and you're here to help with the search? I see. Maybe I don't? I'm a little confused, but that doesn't really matter right now. What matters is continuing the search for Princess Zelda. I am relieved to see you come up here and help us out, though. We needed some good news. The sheer amount of gloom has gotten overwhelming. Our work carries on, but we've been a bit dead in the water.
Oh?
Captain, it's Princess Zelda! Hey! What's your name! Ezekiel! Zelda! Fuck you, Zelda! Oh, okay, bye! Not sure why she keeps doing that.
Huh?
Wait, what? That is a fair reaction, to be honest. You saw that too? You saw Princess Zelda turn to the light and fly off, right? This is the most realistic character so far in this series. I love him. How strange. This is an emergency situation. Why would she leave without saying a word to us? We need to let Pura know about this as soon as possible. Considering what we just witnessed, I think it makes sense for us to withdraw, but it will take a bit. Please, you must tell Pura about what happened. Oh, God, I am everyone's fucking messenger boy. This is ridiculous. Alright. I don't even have my paraglider. I can't even, like, zoomy my ass around. It's fine. Oh, I won't survive that. Alright, we'll go this way. Oop. Yep, da 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 da. She must be a witch. If she can fly, she's definitely lighter than... She can definitely float on water. Which would make her a witch. Oh, was there like a whole track I could have just followed that was gonna... What's in here?
What?
No, it can't be him. I can't allow anyone to pass here. This area is restricted for those involved with the search for Princess Zelda. The order, Captain, you should be at the gatehouse at the end of the road. I already talked to him. Ah, you gotta be kidding. Zelda flew off, did she? You're funny. No matter how funny you think you are, you're not getting through. Can I just... Oh.
Mm.
Okay. You're not permitted in there. Sir? Excuse me? Okay. Well, fine. I feel like I probably could have just walked up this pathway. Kill him, no one will know. Right? The gloom got him. That's the wrong button. There we go. Oh, this is shit. Oh, damn, that's too bad. I mean, everybody thinks I'm dead. I could get away with anything. Hi. Hello. How come nobody's given me a change of clothes yet? I did this already. Oh, I mean, at least I tell everybody. What? Okay, can I... Huh. It was a push. Hey, listen, we out here. We're gay and we're doing crime. Let's go! Freaking lizards everywhere! Alivened. I'm not dead, I'm alivened. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't ask questions. Yo, that gave me some rad gear, though, right out the gate. That's pretty nice. Hello? Pose? Pose? Like pose like ghost pose? Huh? I can just take this shit. I cannot just take this shit. Busted. Alright, fine. No stealing. What if I crouch when I do it? Like how everybody reacts. You transformed into light and flew off? Your stories are always so wild. But if you're telling me that's what you saw, then I've gotta believe it. Sounds like we need to change our approach. Is old lady Chic still alive? What's her name? Impa. Is Impa still alive? Since the princess I mean, I guess she'd probably be in Cocorico Village, if she is. Since the princess flew off, maybe we should redirect our efforts to dig into the upheaval, for now at least. I've already got a few regions in mind to start exploring. I bet we'll pick up clues about where she flew off to as we look around. Oh yeah, you've still got the Purah pad, right? Can I see it for a second? You gonna let me take pictures now? Bap, bap, bap. Oh right, I forgot that before we can look at your overall map of Hyrule, we need to add map data from our right around Lookout Landing, and for that we need our Skyview Tower. What's the status of the Skyview Tower right now? Outwardly, the structure looks to be complete. Yeah. Oh, but the travel point is still undergoing final adjustments. Travel point needs tweaking. Sounds like I better get cracking. Sorry about this, Linky. I'll fix it up quick. In the meantime, why don't you rest up? You must be pretty tired. Oh, wow. Thanks. I only just came back from, like, falling bajillions of feet 3 times. I woke up, I lost my arm. I show up again in tattered-ass clothes, and everybody has me running fucking errands. And somebody finally asked me to take a nap. Thank you. Mub's shop. Okay.
Yeah. Check it. Woohoo!
Check it. Okay, and then they disappeared, never to be seen or heard from again. Alright, well, let's take a nap and then go shopping, shall we?
Oh.
Sorry I didn't greet you properly when you first arrived. I was so relieved to see you that I didn't even, like, ask how you were. My name is Scorpus. I've been charged with managing Lookout Landing. If you have any questions about the place at all, come to me. I'll answer as best as I can. Now please allow me to open up the emergency shelter. Thanks.
Ew.
What? What? Are you fucking kidding me? It's a bomb shelter. was so relieved to see you because no one was running errands. Also, how are you? Like, sorry I didn't ask before. Feel free to make yourself at home in the vault. They're gonna leave me down here. I'm gonna go down here, they're gonna close the door, they're never gonna let me out again because I'm a dirty crime boy.
Ah.
Call me Monty. You will find me employed as a gatekeeper of this fine establishment. This is the emergency shelter. You are, where all are welcome. Please stay as long as you like.
Ah.
The illustrious duty of watching the entrance. My tasks involve taking orders from my superiors regarding when to open or shut the entryway. A noble task indeed. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Aye.
I mean, I can just teleport through this, can't I? I would assume that I could. Look, there's so many people in here. Okay, I don't want to cook anything. I want to take a nap. Hey, there's the beds. The beds are full. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take a snooze. Alright, while we take a snooze, I'm just gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'm gonna get a drink. Make sure you guys get some snacks if you would like some snacks. All that good stuff. You know, we'll sleep until morning. And, I just want to make sure plot doesn't happen. Okay, no plot happened. Alright. Thank you, Link. Alright, so we're just gonna go grab a snack, grab some drinks, go to the bathroom real quick, so we're gonna have a quick break, and we'll be back in, like, about 5 or so-ish minutes. See ya in a bit. Yo, what up? We back. I haven't put my earbuds back in. Where did I put my earbuds? I am a professional. Don't worry about it. I found them. I got Raycons. They're pretty solid, I ain't gonna lie. The noise canceling for them is actually really good, and they fit my ears considerably well, considering that I'm, like, a small person. Oh, did I miss anything? What did I miss? Oh, you guys playing with the followage stuff? Hell yeah. Let me just look. I just want to see what you guys are up to while I was gone, and how much getting me into trouble you've been doing. You know, I wish I had some chips. That would have been nice. But yeah, if you're back and you're just getting back with us, since last time, don't forget to double check your emojis, and don't forget to double check your point redemption, because now there's some stuff you can do. So please enjoy. Let's get back into it. So we've just woken up from our nap. And then we stood here all day. The cooking lady had a quest for us.
Oh?
The cooking dude had a quest for us. The cooking individual had a quest for us. Bermano. Hey, are you new here? You may scoff, but I know a fresh face when I see one. Link is like 150 years old at this point. And spent 130 of that time being comatose. I can't say that because I'm a newcomer too. My name's Bermano, but they put me in charge of cooking for some reason. I want to say something fancy like, for today's menu we'll have fruit and mushroom mix. That'll rev you right up. Yeah, I was really looking forward to saying that, but I'm plumb out of apples. If I don't have my most important ingredient, say goodbye to rich, full flavor. I mean, yeah, it do be like that. My nose is detecting aroma. It's sweet, tangy, pleasant aroma. Do you have an apple? Yeah, I'll give him an apple. Here you go. I got them out of a bokoblin named Steve's backpack. I'm giving you first crack at some grub. Hold on a sec. I'm calling it Brumano's Special Fruit and Mushroom Mix. Looks tasty, doesn't it? Well, thanks. I like to make a big deal out of it, but anyone can make it. All you need is an apple, a mushroom, and a pot. And a fire. You should try making some. Today's menu. Okay, thank you. You're not my girlfriend from the last game. Is that a map? Oh, it's Link! Pardon me, it is a map sense my attention. I'm interested in different people of Hyrule, where they live, entire field study, and deployment and monster control crew. I spent hours poring over maps, such as such, I am the most knowledgeable person of the... Okay, I don't care. I want to find that out by myself. I don't want your research. Okay, later. I gotta go shopping for clothes. Let's go. I am literally wearing ancient clothing. Mubs. Please let this lady's name be Mubs. Hey, welcome. It's your first time at my store, right? It's the only place to shop here on the Outlook. Oh my god, there's the Hyrule outfit. Please, please. I know it's thrown together, but I stock a nice selection of goods. Your hometown? Lurinville. It's way to the south, southeast corner of Hyrule. It used to be a peaceful place too, but then pirates arrived. I used to run the village's general store, but when those pirates arrived, I had to grab all the goods I could carry and run. I don't know how it's going there now. I hope I can return someday, but for now, I'll just keep selling as much stuff as I can. Please let me know if there's anything you'd like. Oh, she'll buy my stuff. Okay, well, I don't want that. I want to buy your... Yeah, let me buy your crap. Okay, what do we got here? A dickload of arrows, apples, and a real pair of pants. Okay, first off, I want the hoodie. I have enough for the hoodie. That's all we got enough money for. Thank you. I need something to keep the rain off my head. Alright. Good enough. I look ridiculous. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. We'll get there. I'm gonna fall in that hole. It's fine! It's fine, I only look terrible. If I put this here, then that goes there. No, that's not quite right. That should do it. Hey, Link, you're all set. Just wrapped up here. The travel point is now working fine, or it will be once you do your part.
Hey!
Pull the switch! Pull the lever, Kronk! Oh. It's a giant old beacon. Okay. What?! Is this just the spots where basically the towers were, and this is replacing the towers? All the sky towers have now been activated.
Yeah.
So, is this basically giving me the map without me having to have the map? That's kind of nice. Oh, that's just a little silly.
Huh.
Impressive, right? Yes, very impressive. Scans the topography and puts it right on a map. Very cool. Thanks! You'll need a paraglider when you're scanning. That would be wonderful. Takes a lot of skill. Nobody here has what it takes. To be honest, that's why we haven't tested this out yet. We needed you, which brings us to this. Oh, that's why you were looking for me and not just Zelda. You need me to do the paragliding shit. Don't act like you're doing me a favor. No, 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 they're just gonna rocket me into the air, aren't they? I'm gonna... No! No! Dr. Octagonopus! Oh, Jesus. I am incredibly uncomfortable. What? Oh, okay. What's... No, fucking... I'm a cannonball! What if I don't press X? Oh, okay. Oh, I can't press X. Oh, this little scanny thing! Oh, that's silly. Bruh. Surface map updated. Oh, there's a sky map. Okay. Sky map upgraded. Why did they... Oh, the cord was a plug-in cord. I'm going this way. Where am I going? Zoom! Oh, they gave me a landing pad. So.
Uh-huh.
Welcome back! That was some good gliding up there, Link. I expected nothing less. Okay, yeah, thanks. So how did it go? Did you get a proper map scan?
Huh.
Good! That map is crucial to our search. There are sky towers in every region of the world. You'll want to make a point of visiting them all. Right, let's talk about the upheaval. It's affected more than just the castle. Reports of other strange phenomena have been coming from all over Hyrule. Let's take a look at your map. First report comes from Hebra to the northwest. Next is Eldin to the northeast. Gerudo are reporting some trouble in the southwest. And finally, Lanayru in the east. Strange phenomenon are contracted in these 4 regions. I can't say for certain, but I've got a nagging feeling that we might find out more about Princess Zelda by looking into these phenomena. Hey Doc, I don't know if this is helpful, but I heard something weird the other day. It was about someone who might have seen Princess Zelda at Rito Village over in Hebrew recently. That's pretty weird, yeah. Generally speaking, I don't put much stock in hearsay, but this does sound like it's worth looking into. Oh, and before I forget, Link. We've asked the Lucky Clover Gazette to help us search for Princess Zelda. The what? There's nobody who knows more about the goings-on in Hyrule than them. You can find them near the entrance to Rito Village. If you do go there, you should speak with the editor. I'm sure she could help out in some way, too. I'll be here directing a variety of investigations into the upheaval's many chasms and new runes. I'll also be looking into different villages. Someone somewhere might know what has happened to Princess Zelda.
Yeah.
Why does she have a flute? I'm counting on you to check out the major phenomena that are troubling the regions around Hyrule. Link, you'll find Princess Zelda one way or another. Okay, so they're telling me I need to go to the Rito Village.
Oh.
Sorry, I can't talk right now. There's something I gotta talk about my goggles, research in the cosm. Let's talk later. Alright, well, they're telling me to go to the Rito Village first, which is the one up over that way. So, I guess this is the direction I'm going in. Egg. Egg. Okay, well, I don't need my hoodie on right now. Plus, it's hiding my luxurious hair. We're going that way! Normally, I would have let you guys vote to see where we were gonna go first, and I would have been disappointed if you all didn't vote for Sidon. It seems to be telling me to go to Rito, although it seems you can go in any direction that you want, which is nice. So we can go whatever direction we want to go in, but I'm trying to stay on track. So we're gonna go to Rito Village. A pine cone? That's the most exciting thing I've seen so far. Yeah, da 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 da, yeah, da 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 da, yeah, da 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 da. We must overturn every rock looking for Zelda. We don't have a horse yet. Oh my god, another Bokoblin with a backpack. Does he fight me? Steve has returned. Sup, Steve? Get bonked. And your little backpack, too. You thought it was funny when you could steal my shit. Well, guess what? I want to see what that is. Like I said, we're staying on track. Oh, another one. all your fire fruit. Thanks. Dang, there's a lot of Steves. Just like in real life. He tried to throw a rock at me. It was clearly self-defense. Obviously. Technically, I'm going in the wrong direction, but... Ugh. But I want to see what the fire is over here. Listen, those fire fruit are very important to me. I need them. So I can blow this shit up. Remember to keep an eye out for shrines. This place is really spiky. Oh. Whoa! I mean, very cool, but also fuck you. Oh shit! This is fine, this is fine. I do equip a new shield. Cool, thanks. I am facing the wrong direction. You saw this, I wasn't breaking and entering. They attacked me. I just wanted to see what was going on over here. Oh my god, he's massive and what the hell? What even are you? Ouch. I may need to, what? Can I, please attach? Yes, thank you. Oh, I can't do nothing about that. Get bonked! I do no damage to this man! How do I even deal with you? Did I get his armor at least? I did, I got his armor, okay. Alright, we blew up his armor. We're making progress. Self-defense, self-defense. Wrong button. I am ill prepared for this. I'm putting on my good boyhood. I got one more bomb flower left. Ouch! What the fuck? I mean, at least he's on fucking fire. Okay, we got that one. Boss Bokoblin Horn. Okay, well, cool, thanks. He's like a smaller Hinox, I guess? Oh. Well, I don't really need the... Do we get rid of the mop? We don't need this. Oh my god. Well, you suck. Get out of here. Cool, thanks for your stuff. Greatly appreciated. Ooh, new shield, thank you. Perfect. This one asshole. I'm coming for you. I'll walk all the way around if I have to. I murdered all your friends. I mean, I self-defended all of your friends. Self-defense. This is self-defense. See, he's trying to shoot me. Goodbye. Good night, sweet prince. Look at how much weaponry they have. They got people locked in cages back here. Clearly I did the right thing. Let you out. Okay, well first I'm gonna take all this I guess I'll let you out first. Oh my god, is it a blood moon? Is it a blood moon? Are you kidding me? Oh my god, I'm the most unlucky motherfucker on the planet. Okay, listen, dude, you need to shut up. You need to shut up. I gotta steal all this stuff. What? Bro, did he just vanish? Listen, just give me the shit. Give me the shit. Oh, yeah, no, I'm keeping that. Okay. I drop that. Thank you. Hold on, I'm stealing the shit. I'm stealing the shit. This is fine. This is fine. It's fine. It's fine. We got this. We got this. We're gonna do this. It's alright. It's alright. We got this. We got plans. We got super good plans. Can't see it from here. We're right on the edge. We got this. We got this. We're fine. Freaking blood moons.
Witness the blood moons rise. When its red glow shines upon the land.
Oh, that guy's got double horns.
Spirits of slain monsters return to flesh.
What are those?
Just as they did in a war long past.
Oh, you mean yesterday?
The world is threatened once again.
I am out of bombs. It's alright. It's alright. We got this. We got this. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It'll be fine. What could possibly go wrong? First off, we just gotta be quick. Shh. They have no clue. We're fine. Everything is fine. Shit. It's raining. Oh god, how are we gonna do this? I don't have any more bombs. I meant bombs I could shoot. Oh, you know. You know. Maybe! There's more than one way to skin a cat here. Maybe I am a Jedi. I wasn't quite far enough for those guys. Where's the big guy? Where is he? How How did that guy not get hit, though? Oh, shit! Oh, shit! Ouch. Ouch. Ah! Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me. Pardon me, excuse me. Pardon me, excuse me, pardon me. Don't mind me, excuse me. Ugh. This is fine. I'm gonna eat this. I'm gonna eat some meat. Okay, off we go. Bruh. Well, I can't climb anything right now. How am I so unlucky? Oh, I wonder if you can fuse the bombs together. Yeah, that's fine. Alright. Alright. Alright, alright, alright. It's okay, it's okay. I need those. They'll never know. Oh, that guy's way over there. Damn. We're gonna attach them all together. Oh, shit! Oh, come on, man! How did they also not notice? Okay, well, let's just get that guy out of the way. They don't know. They don't know. It's fine. They don't know. They don't know. Alright. Alright, alright. Oh. Bye! Take this. Thank you. Take all your bits. Oh. Hello? Thank you. Hey, now we're talking. Oh, shit. Come here, asshole! This is not what I meant! You guys kinda suck! Oh my god, that wasn't gentle enough. Ugh. I'm gonna get blown the fuck up so fucking fast. This is unfair! Please, for the love of God, do not hit me. One more, we got this. We doing it. Oh god, it protected it, what? Come here, asshole. Get fuckled. Oh, I am not in a good spot. That guy still has armor! Alright, well, fine. That does nothing. Wait, didn't I get a big old claymore? I did. What else do I got here? Okay, well, let's light this guy on fire. There we go. 2 can play that game! And it'll work too! Damn! Get bonked. Alright. Now that we've killed them again... Because this game hates me, apparently. I don't know why that dude was freaking out about the blood moon, though. He just kind of went crazy and disappeared. Is that something that, like... Ugh. Alright, well, we did it. I wonder if you can put the bokoblins in a cage. I didn't consider that. You just drop them on the... That would probably work. I feel like rock salt was probably not worth it. Do I have a shield I want to get rid of? Yes, I do. I'm taking the claymores because they're going to be really good to fill with junk. Do these not break when you raise them high enough anymore? Oh no, they do. Ain't got nothing in them though. Okay, well. We did it! We figured out what the big deal was and got fucked. Alright. Let's get out of here. I feel very accomplished having had to have done that twice. Alright, back to what we're supposed to be doing. Oh, that's the ball they threw at me at the very beginning! Speaking of weapons I could have been using. This is mine now, thank you. Off we go, friends! That would take way too long, we're not doing that. Alright, the Rito village was... Let's just double check our map here. Oh. I'm pretty sure it's that one. This is what I get for being curious, by the way. Hey, listen, we're Crime Boy Link. Don't at me. We are a boy of crime. I guess we'll hit that shrine on the way by. What is with these falling rocks? Oh, of course. What do you guys just teleport? I feel like I'm gonna need a lot of shrooms and a lot of herb to get me through this adventure. Well, at least the... This is a giant stall, isn't it? That's gonna pick up a two-handed stone axe and kick the shit out of me, isn't it? I don't like the looks of you. I don't like that sound either. I don't like it. What's that? What that? What that glowing thing? Shrooms and herb. Ooh, look at this thing. Ooh. Hit it. What does it do? I don't understand. Am I supposed to blow it somewhere? I don't know. That looks like a Korok thing. Alright, we're gonna keep going. Thanks, I like this weapon too. I feel like I earned it. I should probably get on the road to Viridian City over here. Hello. Do I ain't trying to fight? We'll get a horse eventually, but not yet. We're going this way. Oh, well that's just in the wrong spot. The hell was that? Oh, there's more bokoblins over there doing bokoblin things. Oh, you got the bokoblin in a cage? Nice! That would have been the smart thing to do. Yo, gear! Okay, but what do I want these for? I'm not sure. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-da. I like how I'm exploring, but I'm still just trying to go in a straight line to the next event, but I'm still end up sidetracked as hell. Listen, that would have taken a second. It's not my fault the Blood Moon was like, oh, hi there, kitties! Oh, I can't make it that far. But maybe I can teleport through that. Oh, no. Oh, maybe I can if I get, like, a wooden block. Hell yeah. I did it, but I didn't have enough time. Alright, so this is definitely doable. I think if I make it a little bit longer, it'll be a little easier. Should do. Really? Oh, it's not active. Really? Oh, that's a fuse one. Really? There we go. Let's go! Portable pots! 5 of them! Nice. We're gonna make snacks on the road! Oh, well that's a core oak. I am a good shot. Look at that! 2 tries. First try! Yeah, later. Good shit, little dude. Wasting my arrows. I don't think I've been to that shrine yet. I think we should probably grab it on the way by. And the shrines feel- we're on the other side. Whatever, we'll come back for it. Eventually, one day, I'm sure. We'll definitely won't forget, like, we immediately just left going through that railway system. Where's the road? Oh, hey! The stable! Or a stable, I should say. Bruh. Don't freak out. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so happy to have this. Oh, hey, a little dude. Oh, we're gonna shoot that man in the butt. Let's go get him. I'm sorry, did that dragonfly just sacrifice itself? Ah, shit. Fuck. Are you kidding me? There's no way. There's no way that didn't hit. Hello. These bubble frog creatures are supposed to live in caves, eh? Oh no, I've seen one of these. Ah! Wow, I just like sneak up on everybody. Nah, I don't care. Exchange for treasure. Okay. Alright. Discovery! Oh, more of these fucking things. Are there more bombs? Can I have more bombs, please? Yeah, I see you. Whatever. I don't care about you right now. I promise we'll definitely come back. I want to go to the stable first. Oh, okay, they show up on the map. So that'll show up again later. Nice! Beetle! Beetle, my friend! You're not Beetle! Lady Impa? Oh, this guy! Oh, Link, I heard that you and Princess Zelda had gone missing. I'm thrilled to see that you're alive and well, but where's Princess Zelda? You'd think it would be smart to, like, keep my presence on the down low in case, you know, Ganon comes to murder my ass, but, you know, whatever, I guess. Link, you're alive anyway. Where's...
Oh.
Geoglyphs? Alright, let's go talk to Impa. And we'll get a horse. I'm gonna get to the highest mountain and just yell Marco Polo and see if Zelda answers me. Whoa! It's a Zonai! Yeah, what a surprise it is to see you here after all this time, Link. Hi, Impa. I heard you had gone missing. It is certainly a relief to see you back and in one piece. More or less. And Princess Zelda, where is she? Oh. What? She still has yet to return. In that case, we must use all available means to search for her. Link, when Princess Zelda went missing, something else happened all over Hyrule. During the upheaval, huge pictures appeared out of nowhere, images that sprawled across fields and hills. We're calling them geoglyphs. I understand that they have been found in locations across the kingdom. Kato and I are traveling from region to region. I mean, that's kind of impressive for Impa, I'm not gonna lie. Being able to travel that far is impressive, and her little tiny, like, this is what I look like. I'm pretty sure that's just me. Kato and I are traveling from region to region in hopes of seeing them all. I noticed this geoglyph from a distance while I was standing on high ground. Examining it up close, I could not make out what it depicted. I thought I might have a better view from up in the sky. I took the air in the balloon Purah gave me, but alas, the wind struck and completely sheared the balloon off the base. I have racked my brain for ways to reach the two parts, but to no avail. What? Impa's profile has been added. Okay. So you need me to do a thing, I guess. Alright, let's do the shrine. Get me some herb! Sinakawak's Shrine. She cosplay Impa. That'd be fun. The commands do in fact work. And you should have more points. You have ways to spend your points now, fellow travelers. Goober Squadians. I don't really know what I'm trying to do here. I'm assuming that's a torch, yeah, okay. I don't think I need it. I imagine if I can move this over, I can just... I'm a genius. I have the biggest brain. That's the wrong button. Biggest brain, I say. Bonk. And we got a stretch redeemed, so we gonna stretch. We gonna go out. We're gonna put left arm out on an angle beside you. We're going to pull your head on the opposite to the right. We're gonna put hand above. And we're just gonna lean it over top and we're just gonna stretch this side of the neck. We're gonna hold it. Make sure you're sitting up straight. You don't need to pull too hard. And then both hands up. Same thing. And you're just gonna hold it. We're gonna put both hands behind our back. We're gonna clasp them just like this. And then we're gonna push down towards the ground and just pull out the chest a little bit. And we stretch. And then we push it out. The chair's a little bit in my way, but... And we're gonna twist to the side. And I'm cracking my back because I'm using the chair to do it. But don't do that. Ah, wonderful. I feel much better, thank you. Alright. Now what? I made it to here, and that thing is way up there. Maybe I'm not a genius. Maybe I'm less of a genius than I think I am. That's so sad for me. Let's just do this. We don't need to do all this work. Let's just make ourselves a thing. We can just make ourselves like a little platform. We'll just put this in the middle. There we go. We'll just grab this. Not there. Oh, fuck! Get back here. Grab it! Why can't I grab it? This is bullshit. Alright, let's try again. The game fucked me! You saw that. It was cheating. Nonsense. I might need to grab some more material. Ah, there we go. Did I not? I haven't seen a... Where's our... Oh, maybe it's up there. Don't pop your joints too hard. I think we are gonna have to break out our trusty fan. That's what I think. Oops. come on. Come on, I had it. That's pretty close. Alright, so before we do this, we're going to take our shield and we're gonna put a fan on it. I can't use them in here. Well, shit. Well, shit. How am I supposed to make it go over? Do I just hit it? It's okay, we're moving slowly. Don't fall off. Maybe we can just jump and glide. Maybe it's high enough. Making my way downtown. Faces past. The only thing that I don't have set up right now is that the alert type stuff. Needs to have a minor adjustment to it to make sure that you guys actually get, So when you guys redeem points, it actually, like, something shows up. Yeah, I'm getting close. I'm a little bit toasty standing next to the fire, as it were. Alright, well, made one. Okay, I gotta push that button. What else do I gotta do? Looks like there's walkways up there? Can I teleport through those? Ah, hell yeah, I can. Nice. Good job, me! This was meaningless. There's nothing up here. Why is there nothing up here? You know, besides the mess I made. I feel cheated. I guess if I need to, I could grab something? Like, is that the point? They're close enough to grab? Let's not throw my cool weapon that I just earned. I earned that. It's just there for me to, like, learn to pick up after myself as I just create chaos everywhere I go. Cool, thanks. Da 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 da. Oh. Ball. I see. Well. So we need to get ball to here. Is there another ball? I only see one ball. Oh, that's a lot of fire. Okay. Well, can we put the ball in the balloon? Oh, I guess we can't put the ball in the balloon because it needs to go all the way through, but we can put the ball on this. Oh, we don't want it right in the middle, though. That's... Can you be, like, a little bit over to the... Listen, I don't want you all the way over to the side. Can you just be, like, in the middle, kinda? No? No, 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 no. Come on, man. Stop that! Alright, fine. Fine! Be a dick about it. Fine, see if I care. Also, what is this? Oh, I see. Ah, wait, I got an idea. I got an idea. Hold on. I got this. First off, we're gonna need 4 to do the big one, right? That's obvious. You, get off of here. Get off. Okay, fuck off. You. Yeah, also get off. Alright, I got this. This is easy. First, we're gonna make this work first try, alright? First try. Do you guys believe in me? Prediction! Hold on, let me see if I can run a prediction. Let me run the ad break while I set this up. Prediction. First try, question mark. Yes. No. Do you guys believe in me? Alright. First try. I have the biggest brain. You guys aren't gonna believe this. Look at this. We're gonna put it on the bottom. We're gonna attach it on the bottom. Shit. That's not the bottom. Oh, for fuck's sakes. Oh. God. Oh my god, no! Come on. Stop. Okay. Why is it a weird angle like that? Alright. Put it flat on the ground. Hold on. No, first try. First try. We can do it, I believe. First try! Don't you guys believe in me? Come on. Whatever, at least these things apparently don't go out, so that's nice. First try. Alright. I feel like I'm doing way more complicated about this than I need to. Wait a minute. No, there's no way. There's no way it's gonna be way too heavy. Okay. Okay. First try. First try. Hold on, we're gonna, before we attach those, we're gonna move this closer to the wall so I can grab it when I inevitably, like, lose track of it. First try. Hey! Hey! You get back here! We're gonna get them all nearby so that way we don't fuck it up. Where's our last balloon boy? Oh, do we only have 3? Do we only have 3 balloons? What the hell? Okay, that is not... Up you go. Where are we missing a balloon? Did I lose one? Oh, it's right here. No, that's not it. Where's our last balloon? Am I crazy? Yeah, no, we going up east. Stop throwing that! We need that. Stop it. Give it. Ugh. Give balloon. Give me this. Oh my god. Give me this balloon, damn it. First try! God damn it. Get back here! Oh, well, I guess it's going. Well, alright. First try! I guess I didn't need to go get another balloon. It was going. It was just going really, really slowly. First. That counts. Ugh. Wow, it's awfully convenient that all the exact right stuff fell off. Oh, there's my treasure. Oh, that was just for a treasure chest. I didn't even need to do this. Perpetual first try. That was all the first try. Come on. Money. Oh, holla. You think this will break if I just throw it over the edge? It sounds like it's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Perfectly balanced. First try. I told you. Look, I didn't even have to do anything. Look at that, I got it. First try. Boom! See? You guys didn't believe in me. I have the big brain! Hell yeah! Listen, 62 IQ, this game is made for children. That's 3! I don't know if you guys can see it. Now you can see it. There we go. I didn't really give you guys very much time to vote. I apologize. Berries. Alright. So we need to do something for Impa, but I don't know what it was. So I guess we should look at our Impa at the geoglyphs. Impa was investigating geoglyphs near the charm. She's frustrated because it's impossible to see the full picture from the ground. If you fix the broken balloon she told you about, you might be able to get a bird's eye. So there should be some broken balloon parts around. Oh, they're right in front of her. Oh, okay, I'm just an idiot. I would like to point out we are at 86 out of 100 followers. We are almost at that 100 follower goal, so I just wanted to say thanks, everybody. That's fantastic. That all you wanted? You want me to do it for you? Oh, you fixed my balloon. Thank you, Link. Will you come with me to take a look at it? Yeah, sure. Time to head out then. No, I nearly forgot. Would you mind doing one final thing for me? Of course. Light a fire. The balloon will start to float. Damn, I guess I should have picked up some of the torches. Oh. Perpetual old lady. Okay, I guess we lose our mop. Goodbye, mop. It's a giant Zonai!
Oh.
Too high up, I feel faint. Hey, it's the picture I saw on the way down. Cool. But finally, we can see it. The geoglyph. Well done, Link. You know, I read something in the village's old literature, a passage about what the ancients called dragon tears. When the tears rest upon the earth, we mark down the images to which they gave birth. I believe this geoglyph is one such image, but even from this vantage, its meaning is no clearer to me. Nor can I figure out what dragon tears might be. Well, maybe it's those tears that we've been seeing around. But you know, if the literature is correct, one of them could be quite close, near a geoglyph, or even within its borders. I mean, do you think it's in its hand, or maybe its head, or maybe it's like any of those tear spots?
Yeah.
Would you look around? This could be the clue to discover Princess Zelda's whereabouts. If you would like to examine the geoglyph from ground level, you can float down with paraglider. No need to worry about me, I can manage a simple landing. We're just gonna leave her floating up here? Okay! Okay, later, input! Okay, well this... Zelda? Fuck. Figures. I don't know if I'm really lucky or absolutely unlucky. Zelda! Nope. She's like 200 years old, what could happen? I mean, she can fly, right? She'll be fine. It's not like the elderly need to have their licenses taken away. It's what the fuck? I think I found it. Phenomenal cosmic power. Oh, it reversed. Cool. That is ability I probably won't use too much. As fun as it looks. Oh god, it's the memories. Uh-huh? Oh, that's where she landed. Oh! Okay.
What?
Did young...
Oh, dear.
OG Zelda? The furry? Oh. So now she gets to live 100 years in the past, except it's like 100,000.
We didn't mean to startle you. I'm sorry. It's okay. My name is Sonia.
And could we ask what your name is?
Raru?
The daughter of King Rome of Hyrule, Zelda.
What an unexpected answer. We are the king and queen who founded Hyrule, after all. Or at least we were the last time I checked.
You two founded Hyrule? And you're the king?
Goat Grandpa!
My name is Raru, King Raru of Hyrule.
King Raru? And Queen Sonia? But that must mean...
Time to go back in time. Don't need money. Don't take... I'm sopping wet. Take a shot. Because I jumped right into it. Where am I? After disappearing into the depths under the castle, Zelda wakes up to meet two strangers who introduce themselves as King Raru and Queen Sonia. she's left startled by a suspicion that she's heard those names before. Pring! Ah! God damn it, Impa. Link, you look distracted. What's wrong? It's the same look you had before when you were watching those memories.
Oh.
I came all the way back here and nobody was even willing to give me clothing. And then, but like, where's my shit? Like, you'd think I would have some, like, extra clothes laying around. But no, I have to pay for everything. Fucking capitalism ruining Hyrule. And then warmongers. Profiteers. And then Princess Zelda. The geoglyphs, the literature, the dragon tears, and now a vision of the lost princess. What if these are all connected? Yeah, what if? Let us continue to examine the geoglyphs. They may contain further clues that lead to Princess Zelda. You know, according to the literature, there is something to do with the geoglyphs in the Forgotten Temple. The Forgotten Temple lies at the bottom of the canyon of Hebra, which is where we're going. I think we should make our way there soon. Alright. Sopping wet, take a drink. We need to catch a horse. We need a horse. We 100% need a horse. It's gonna take us years to walk there on foot. Keep your eyes peeled, we're looking for some nays. There. That's a cool looking bird. So I have heard that you can, we're gonna get that chocolate colored one. I've heard that you can transfer your horses over, but I don't want to do that. Okay, there's no way I scared you, so that's fine. I am very loud. I have no stealthy anything. Shit. Oh, alright. I haven't even found anything to make anything stealthy yet. We're downwind. It's nighttime. It's not a blood moon. Fuck my life, man. Whoops. I forgot the crouch button for a second. That was bizarre. Okay, we're going for chocolate. You do not see me. Chocolate's the one on the far side. You right there. Dark chocolate. It's okay, it's okay. He's a little antsy. He's got marshmallow feet. Hey, Solar, good to see you. Solar, you got a membership right now. Congratulations, from Honest Red. So you got access to all this stuff. Get back here! Get on! Nice. We got our chocolate mocha horse. Yeah, we have probably not enough money to stable the horse, actually, now that I think about it. We will try. We Gucci. There's our chocolate horse. Nice.
Yeah. Ah.
Welcome to Stables, horse related. You see, I'm not a member yet. We use the Stables so you may ask for your name. My name is Link. Oh, Link. All right, Mr. Link. There. It's all signed up. Now, would you like to tell me about the stable system? I already know. Is that so? Then once again, welcome to our stable. You catch a wild horse, bring it here. You can register at the lodge with us. Please take out inside. How can I help you? Register a horse. Understood. You want to register? According to your books, you entrusted a horse with us once before. I'll just go ahead and register any horse you had that had your name on it. Come and talk to me later if you want to take them out. Well, then once again, we'll register the horse here. You know what? Let's go get our horses. I'm sure there's nothing. I'm gonna take one of my horses. Latte, cream. Oh, you don't get to keep your magic one. Alright, let's take Cream out. Yeah, let's go, Cream! I wasn't gonna do this, but let's do this. Yeah, I know about whistling. Yeah, I got that. I do that constantly, all the time. Pony points! That's right, reward system, you use stables. In short, every time you use a service, you get points. No matter what stable you go to, you can earn points for lodging there, registering a horse, and stuff like that. Without further ado, since this is your first time visiting, you get a pony point. Using a stable earns points. Collect points grants rewards. Points needed for this is too real. Like, I feel like I'm at Starbucks. Save up points to earn a wagon load of wonderful rewards for you and your horse companions. Oh, I wonder if I'm gonna get, like, updated. You can trade your pony points for the ledger counter. The ledger prize details. Oh, I wonder how the prizes are. I gotta see the prizes! This is important to me. Receive reward. I want to look.
Hey.
I just want to see. Let me see. Towing harness. Very useful item. You can use it to hook your horse up to various things. Oh, we can make a cart. Cool. Alright, let's go, Cream. Actually, hold on. Cream deserves an apple. Cream has worked very hard. Cream has come all the way... Cream has come all the way from a whole other game to join us. Here you go, Cream. Hey, other horse. Would you like a apple? Would you like an apple? Do you want an apple? You want this? There you go. I'm a nice guy. Alright, let's go. Thanks. Alright, off we go! On our adventure. Where are we going? That way! Alright. There's a reason why I love Cream. Cream is so freaking fast! Yeah. Whoop. I jumped off. Yeah. Alright, well, let's grab our next map. Oh, it let you keep your opponent? Oh, I mean, that makes sense. It was DLC, right? Do we have a pokey stick? Damn it! Touch my horse. I'll kill you. I will legit murder spagurter your entire family if you touch my fucking horse. I have the best horse. Oh, an amiibo award. Yeah, that makes sense. Do amiibos count as DLC? Is that fucking Hetsu? Yo! And money! Sup, Hetsu? Those trees over there are so scary. Shakala. Shalaka, yeah. Hetsu's concerns. Okay. You got a problem with some trees? Okay, well, first off, money. I'm sorry, excuse me? That's okay, I have the right kind of weapon for this. Get bonked. Evil tree? With a lizard in it? Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect sturdy, thick stick. Okay, I figured there was gonna be something going on, but I wasn't expecting a full-on, like, straight evil tree. Oh, there's another one. Evil tree 2, electric boogaloo. Let's go! It seems like it's not doing any damage. Once he's on fire, it doesn't really do any damage. Bye! Fucking evil trees. The scary things are gone! I wasn't expecting mimic trees today. You see me? You see me? My name is Hetsu. I'm the musician of Korok Forest, up northeast. I'm known for my maracas and my dancing. Thanks for your help, Shaka. I don't know what voice I'm doing. To show you my appreciation, I'll do a little dance and make your pouch bigger. Thank you, Hetsu. I appreciate you making my pouch bigger. But my maracas aren't working anymore. The Korok seeds inside are all gone. How am I supposed to dance now? Shoko, I can't imagine why the Koroks would want to leave Hetsu if he puts them inside of her maracas and just bangs them around. The children of the forest must have taken them again. You mean you're petrified shit? If I had even one Korok seed, I could sing and dance and use my powers to help you. Yeah, well, I got 10. Korok seeds make a really great sound when you put them in maracas, but the seeds spilled all over the place when I broke my maracas. I think the children of the forest are frantic. Sniff! Hang on! Do you have a Korok seed? You do! I got a Korok seed from one of the children of the forest. If you give me a Korok seed, I'll make your inventory bigger. You're largening my pouch, thank you. Shakalaka! So which stash do you want more slots in? This giant piece of broccoli. Alright, we're gonna go one weapon, one bow for sure. Oh, he's got little dancy buddies now. I love him. I like how Hetsu says it. Expand the band weapon stash. So, are you happy with it? If you bring me more Korok seeds, I'll expand your inventory again. Don't leave. Don't leave, I need you. I need you to make my pouch bigger. I'm in the middle of traveling. I'm thinking about heading east next. There are so many monsters these days. Traveling is dangerous. What I'd like is to find somewhere I can relax. I like lively spaces, so maybe I'll go somewhere lots of people hang out. Wait a second, you still have Korok seed on you? I can smell them. I'll be here a little longer. Want me to make your page bigger? Bow stash, please. We never skip the Hetsu dance. Not even once. If he lets us, we're gonna go... If he lets us, we're gonna go one of each, and then we'll go, Ah, damn. Alright. Bye, Hetsu! Hetsu's profile has been added. Oh, I can't wait to read through all the profiles. That's gonna be ridiculous. Alright, there we go. Where's my horse? Oh, my horse was, like, pissed off from dealing with oh no, that's where Hetsu was standing. It's alright, Cream. I'll be right back. A new discovery! Okay, well, we'll do that in a minute. This takes priority. I like these little caves. This is very cool. I'm looking forward to actually... Hey, another horse. If you skip the dance, is your pouch really bigger? No, it does not. Oh, come on. Alright, looks like we're gonna have to build our way across here. Easy! We got this. Easy. Look at that! Hello? Can you calm down, please? That is the wrong way. Not what I intended. I thought you could bring it closer to yourself. What did I fuck up here? Easy! First try. Yeah! We got this. Let's go! D-pad brings it closer. You know, I was pressing that and it was just kind of flying around. Time to get shot out of a fucking cannon! Oh, right, I have to let go of the R button. Yeah, you're right. Listen, I'm only mostly stupid. Let's go! I really don't like the octopus arms. At least he was used to it that time. Let's go! Shoot me, daddy! Woo! Hey, good to see it. Do your little scanny, boy. What is that? Oh, that's that flowery thing we were looking at before at the very beginning. I don't like those particular octopus arms. Nice. Oh, it's marked on the map already. Fascinating. Cool! And we got some sky map stuff. Let's go! Where am I gonna land? Oh, I guess I don't have to worry about it. I got the thing now. On the wrong side. I left my horse on this side. We're gonna hit the road, Jack! Nice, we did it. Ready? Here comes Cream! Cream! Yeah, good horsey. Alright, let's do the cave. Yeah, we do the cave. We'll do the cave. Only because Slick's just got here. Let's go. Can Bright Cap, a mushroom that glows in caves. It contains luminescent enzymes. Cook in a dish to give a glowing effect to anyone who eats it? What? Oh god, this is really... Oh shit! Oh, it's okay. There was water at the bottom. Bombs! Wonderful. Thank you, Blumflower. I might be doomed. Oh, no, it's okay. We're fine. Always come prepared! Is Link getting annoyed at me because I'm making him wet all the time? Is that what that was? Angry boy. Ooh. Ooh. Found a shrine. Of course we collect absolutely everything. Oh, I hate that. Oh, I don't like that one bit. Oh, God. Fuck. What? Nope. Oh, I hate that. Oh, it's like the eyeballs that had malice in them before, but now they're in eyes. Hold still, you fucker. Oh, they take, like, no damage. Okay, well, fuck that. Bye! Later! Well, fuck that thing! Gross! Nope. That's a whole lot of nope. That, I hate the sound it makes. I hate its grabby hands. I hate its eyeballs in its hands. I hate everything. It kind of reminded me of that thing from the Labyrinth movie. Fuck that thing. It takes no damage. I ain't about that. Oh, do I get points just for surviving getting here? Thanks. Ooh! Zonai charge with a massive energy stored within it. Put it in a Zonai device dispenser or use it temporarily to prevent a Zonai energy cell from losing power. Ooh. Hi, I survived the grabby hands. Bikini weather, eh? Nice. It survived for now? Savage? You don't believe in me? Come on, I've only died stupidly because I keep jumping off of high heights. I don't think I've died in a fight. I didn't get killed by the big bokoblins, right? Did I? Did I die of the bokoblins? Hell yeah! Thank you. Will we do this the whole way through without dying in a fight? Probably not. Are we gonna try? Hell yeah. Alright, you creepy fuck. Stay away from me. I want nothing to do with you. Luminous stone, mysterious mineral, gives off pale blue glow in the dark, which some believe can to be the souls of the dead. Apparently, the stone can be used as a base for making special clothing. Well, I love me some special clothing, that's for sure. All right, well, hey, grabby hands. Oh, I hate you. I hate you so much. Is there even anything else in this cave? Oh, you're the worst. Oh, I hate you. You can't get me up here, and I'm glad you can't get me up here. Oh, they don't even stay on fire for long. What if... Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. We got the dazzle fruit, and we picked up a bunch of... I can flashbang it. Hear me out. Oh yeah, you don't like this. Ooh, bitch! Get me the fuck out of here! Oh god! Ah! Don't fall! Wow, that was after the flashbang and everything. Jesus Christ. Oh, I don't like you. I don't like you one bit. Alright. I have a bright bloom. Right? Okay. We have the dazzle fruit, which is fine, but we have this bright bloom, and I'm curious to know... I want to know if the bright bloom does anything to it. I can attach it to a torch. Whoops. Alright, you little bastard. You don't like this? It does nothing. Damn. Alright, well, fuck that thing. Bye! I have no need to deal with you whatsoever. So long. Fuck you. And the horse you rode in on. I hate your face. I don't know how to... Oh, wait. I know how to get out. I can teleport now. Ha ha ha. Ah. Bye. Well, you know what? I thought maybe it would have a light weakness, or maybe it would have something that I could, you know what I mean? Alright. I thought that through, come on! That was pretty good for me. Oh shit. The fucking little Taluses, dude. Fuck you. You got nothing on me. I'm ready for you this time. You little bastards. Nah, I don't think so. Where's my horse? That way. Alright, we're gonna go get our horse. And then we are going to leave it there for today, because that's like a whole nother 4 hours of playing. Damn, our horse is a baller. We love cream. Drink every time there's an innuendo. Cream! Yeah! What a good horse. I have the best horse. Oh, shit! Alright, well, we are well on our way to the Rito village. Is this a thing? This dropped on my face. What? Alright. Alright, we're gonna head back to the road. We're gonna go to the Rito village, and we will be well on our way. Let's save, because we should save. Saving in progress. Thank you so much for joining me. This game is absolutely hella fun. I hope you guys have already... A shrine arrow? I don't have a shrine arrow. What the hell's a shrine arrow? I haven't gotten that far yet. Don't spoil it for me. Alright. Thank you so much for joining. This is hella fun. There's a bunch of nonsense over there. I don't want to deal with that right behind me. But hey! I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I hope you guys enjoy the layout. I think it's pretty good. I tried to see the light thingy on the arrow, but I didn't go far enough across on my inventory. Alright, well, my arrows are worth more than my torches are. Let's just put it that way. So we'll be back again tomorrow. Actually, we're going to be live, but we're going to do a little bit more chatting, and then we've got more art coming up soon. So there's going to be a lot more of that. That's going to be super awesome fun times. We have at least a tattoo design to start fleshing out the rest of the way. I think we have a pretty good idea of what we're doing, but we're going to have to, you know, do the work to flesh it out. I believe we will be back with more Zelda, but it will be a little bit later. I do want to keep playing this. This game's a hell of a lot of fun. It definitely improved my mood today, and I hope it improved yours. I hope you guys had a good it's Tuesday, isn't it? Good Tuesday, and I hope you guys have fun weeks planned. I'll join you guys tomorrow, probably earlier in the day than I did today, so we can talk about, you know, the normal stuff that we kind of talk about. More dick butts? Likely. Likely more dick butts. We'll see how we're feeling tomorrow. What we'll probably do is we'll probably do our regular scheduled stream stuff, and then maybe come back to this. Or to art. I'm going to let you guys vote. You guys get to decide. So I'm going to head on out of here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Thank you so much for any memberships. Thank you for your Prime subscriptions. And thank you for any gifts. And I hope you guys enjoyed and liked the new point system. We're gonna add more, and we're gonna get some more alerts and stuff to go off, so that way that'll, we'll keep building. We'll keep building. We're a work in progress, you know. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Thank you so much for joining. Please follow the socials down below, and as well join us on the Discord. And join us on YouTube. And if you prefer shenanigans, find me on Twitter. I'm always up to trouble there. Also, I don't advise people actually use Twitter, so don't actually do that. I'll usually just tell you the stupid things I find on Twitter. So, yeah, I'll see you guys live tomorrow. And I hope you all have a lovely, lovely, lovely week. Bye!